if you're someone who's tired of the usual 5 to 1 chord progression, then this video is definitely for you, where I'm going to talk about the concept of tritone substitutions. Let's get right into it. Now, before we start, I should mention that for the examples of this video, I'm using C major for the sake of simplicity. But you can apply whatever I say in this video in the exact same way to any major or minor key on the circle of fifths. And also, if you feel any of this is hard to follow, then make sure to stick around until the end of the video, where I'm going to give you a very helpful shortcut that will help you be able to instantly note this chord in whichever major or minor key you're in. So with all of that out of the way, let's begin. Now, we know that traditionally, the most powerful type of resolution in any major or minor key is the 5-7 to 1 chord progression, which is when you meld a major chord with an added minor seventh on the 5th degree of your scale, and then resolve that chord to the 1 chord. Now, the reason this progression is so powerful is primarily due to the tritone interval between the 3rd and the minor 7th degree of the dominant 7th chord, which feels restless and wants to resolve to the 1st and 3rd degrees of the tonic chord. Now, this progression is so overly used in almost every genre of music that some of you might think, well, isn't there a more colorful chord that I can use instead of the dominant 7 that would have a similar function when resolved to the 1 chord? Well, yes. And this is where the concept of tritone substitution comes into play. So as you might already know, a tritone is referred to two notes that are three musical whole steps or whole tones apart from each other. Now, this is the only interval beside the octave that has the same musical quality when inverted. So, for example, the notes B and F are three whole steps apart. Then F to B is also three whole steps apart. And this also means that no matter which of them is on the bottom, we always feel like we want them to resolve to C and E. This interval has a very restless quality, and the notes want to resolve inward by a half step into a major third interval. So with this logic, we can say that if B and F are the major third and minor seventh of a G dominant seventh chord, then we can also agree that if we invert them, then F and B are the major third and minor seventh of a D flat dominant seventh chord if we only respell B as a C flat. Now, the D flat seventh chord is actually the dominant seventh chord in the keys of G flat major and G flat harmonic minor, but it can work just fine as a replacement to G7 in the context of a C major chord. And it can also be used as a gateway to modulate between these keys. Now, the point I want you to take away from this is that whenever there's a tritone, especially in the context of a dominant seventh chord, it goes both ways. So with this, I think we can also agree that there are actually more than one dominant seventh chord in a single major or minor key. One is the initial 5-7, and the other one is the tritone substitution chord of that 5/7. Alright, now, time for that simple shortcut I promised you in the beginning of the video. If you don't want to think about dominant 7th chords and tritones and how to invert a tritone and all those fancy stuff, just do this. First, find the tonic note of whichever major or minor key you're in. Then, go up a half step or a semitone. In other words, find the lower 2nd degree of your scale, and then build a simple major triad with an added minor 2nd on that lower 2nd degree. And there you go, this is your tritone substitution. So now you can use it and brag about it to everyone for the rest of your life. So as a general rule of thumb, remember that a tritone substitution chord can also be looked at as a dominant 7th chord built on the lower or flattened 2nd degree of a musical scale. Alright, that's it for today's video. I hope this was helpful, and as always, feel free to leave a comment, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.